All right, so with the diesel engine, as the exhaust stream is leaving the vehicle, you have a set of spray nozzles after the catalytic converter that spray in your diesel exhaust fluid. What it does is it helps cut down on the emissions coming out of the vehicle. If you run out of DEF as you're driving the vehicle, the computer kicks in and limits your top speed to 50 miles an hour. You cannot exceed that until you add more DEF fluid. It does have a 5.1 gallon capacity. Roughly 8 to 12 fill-ups. It depends on how heavy you are on that accelerator. You do want to top it off before then though. If I stop at a gas station or something like that and I fuel up, if I have the opportunity, I'm going to go ahead and top off my DEF fluid as well.
What's a good cruising speed?
70, 80 miles an hour.
Oh, okay.
I mean, if you're on the highway, you can do it.
Do you need any break-in time?
No, not on the motor, not on the diesel motor. There is a gauge on the dash. Once we go inside, I'll show you how to access that. That way you can view your DEF level. Same thing for your oil dipstick. There is no dipstick inside here. It's done off the computer. So there's a gauge on the inside. I'll show you how to do all that stuff. There's a couple things I want you to pay attention to with this vehicle. Antifreeze level right here. So you do a minimum maximum line. Sealed system. You should never be losing fluid. If you're losing fluid, you have an issue that needs to be addressed. You've got to go to the dealership ASAP. Okay? Engine air filter, you're not going to change yourself. Dealers will get into that. This air intake right here. This air intake right here is for your AC system. So if you're not on a recirc, you're pulling out outside air, pulls it from the back of that hood. Draws this across seats on the inside. Brake fluid, you're not going to mess with. Let the dealership handle that. Windshield washer fluid, you guys are going to add some to here.
Yeah.
There's some in there now, but you will want to top it off. If you need to jump start this engine, this is how you do it. If you come over here and look right here, there's a red cap right here.
Yes.
I'm going to spin that red cap until these teeth line up with those slots,
right,
and then push it all the way in. Exposes that piece of metal. Take your red alligator clamp it down right there. Take your black, go to that brass colored stud right there, and clamp down your alligator clamp right there. So that will let you jump start the engine.
Okay.
All right. Anything having to do with maintenance or warranty work on the engine, transmission, powertrain, drivetrain, suspension, undercarriage, wheels, tires, stuff like that, it's got to go to Mercedes. Okay. Anything having to do with the house side needs to go to an RV dealer like us. It doesn't have to be us, but at least another Class B RV dealer.
Okay.
Do you have any questions on the engine in front of the vehicle, stuff like that? Nope. Real quick, fuel door is right here. I do have to open the driver's side door in order to access it. So open the driver's side door.
Right.
Open that panel. Yep. Just like that. This is my water compartment right here. So this will do my outside shower, which you can see I have it hooked up right now. I do have hot and cold for that. This will do my city water connection. This will also do my tank fill. There's a lever right here, and you can see the diagram right here. And the up position is tank fill and tank use. And if I'm on city water, I'm going to flip that down into the city use position. Okay. But I'm going to leave it on tank fill right now. I also have my black tank flush inside here. And if you look against the left-hand side over here is my macerator button. Okay, so the macerator compartment's down here, but the macerator button's right here. Okay?
Gotcha.
All right, if we walk further back, this is the macerator compartment right here. I already have this unhooked from the saddle. I'm going to pull this out. You're going to spin this cap off, stick this into your dump station, come over here and pull your black valve all the way out. Go to your macerator button, hold the macerator button down. When you do that, this hose is going to expand as your stuff coming out of this. Once it starts to retract like that, for the most part, it's empty. I would run it for an extra 10 to 15 seconds after that, get all the material out of it.
Okay, let me ask you, do you surge push it? In other words, bump,
Nope.
or you just push it, let it go?
Yep, just hold it down. Once you do that, close your black tank valve, go to your gray valve, open your gray valve, dump your gray stuff out, exact same thing, hold the macerator button down.
Okay.
Now, once you do that, you're going to close that. You're going to take your water hose and attach to your black tank flush right here. You're going to fill your black tank back up. You're going to dump your black tanks twice, your gray tank once. Okay?
Oh, okay.
But same thing, I need to hold this button down in order to pump all that material out of the black tank. Okay? Once you've done that, you do want to add more black tank chemical treatment inside. So what you're going to do is go to your toilet, drop on the tablets inside there, flush your toilet, you're good to go.
Gotcha.
All right.
Okay.
Once you're done with that, stick this all the way inside there. You can see you have this harness right here.
Right.
It's going to go around this and then latch in at the bottom. It's one of the things you have to play with it to figure out exactly where everything's at.
Can you show me that again there?
So I'm going to disconnect this.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Lift that up and I can pull this out.
Right.
Okay. I'm done using it. I'm going to push it all the way back in. Route this underneath it. Like that. latch it back in place.
Okay, gotcha.
And I can take this and close this door.
Okay, got it.
Walk further back, we do have a shore power connection right here. We also have our propane connection underneath here. You
Okay.
do want to spin this bolt all the way out. Drop that cover down. If you can see right here, this and this you guys are not going to mess with.
Okay.
This is where they fill the LP. This is
Okay.
where they bleed off fumes in order for it to accept the LP. This and this you are going to mess with. So this is your quick disconnect fitting if you want to carry around an external propane grill. You do need to buy the quick disconnect fitting for it. It attaches right there. You flip your valve down in the on position to use it. Okay, that's off right there.
Okay.
Next, you have the solenoid over here. Right now, the toggle switch is in the up position, so LP is now flowing.
Okay.
You have a toggle switch out here and inside the coach. Both need to be in the on position in order for the LP to flow.
Okay.
If either one of these is off, it shuts the
And
LP
what
system
does the
down.
LP run?
It's going to run your Truma system, and that's it. That's it in this coach. So
Okay.
your Truma is your hot water heater and your furnace.
So you can turn it off. I don't need it.
All right. You're running on electric.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll shut that system down. Put this bolt back in place. I will tell you, you are going to fight with this bolt. That is a pain in the butt.
Okay, you're on.
Okay. Backup camera at the very top up there. You do have multiple viewing angles on that. I'll show you once we go on the inside. Trailer hitches right here. 5,500 pound towing capacity, 550 pound tongue weight. So I can set 550 pounds
Right.
on the backpack here, and I can tow 5,500.
And that's a 2-inch,
Yes. And then you do have the 7-pin connector right there.
7-pin. Okay.
Yep. I'm gonna open this up.
And the doors I know go back 180.
Yep. So I can go all the way back with it like that. All the way back with it like that. Now, there is nothing keeping that door in place, okay?
So if I had a wind, it would just.
Exactly. Exactly.
Gotcha.
You do have the pull down bug screen in the back.
Okay.
Pull down shade right here.
Gotcha.
Privacy. You do have a water pump button right here. This is solely for winterizing the vehicle.
Okay.
Xantrex battery is right there. These carpets are for the front. You can fit 3 people across on the seat back here. You can see the seat belts right here. If you are converting this into a bed, you do want to pull these seat belts out and stow them underneath here. You don't want to convert this into a bed with the seat belts on there. Any questions on the rear?
No, not really. Yeah, I got it.
Always close this driver's side door first.
Yes.
Passenger side door latches into the driver's side door.
All right, go.
We do have the 2 110 outlets right here. And this is our Truma exhaust. So again, Truma is making heat. If I'm set to LP, I am venting LP fumes out of here. I do want to be careful putting these windows, that way I'm not getting back inside the coach.
Gotcha.
If I set it to electric and I'm making heat using electric, there is still some heat that comes out of this. That's
Okay.
okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead and open up the awning so you can see it.
Well, yeah, I'm not. I got the on.
There you go.
Okay, go for it.
All right. Top left, I have my solar switch, so on or off, pretty much I'm always going to leave this on. There's not too many cases where you need to shut this off. More so, it's for working on the system. You cannot work on the system when the power's flowing through it. You got to shut it down. Solar controller right here, again, you're not going to mess with this. This is automated. It's always doing its thing. Right now, it's displaying state of charge on the battery, which we can see is completely full. The red light right here indicates that the panels are receiving sunlight right now. So even though we're under a cover, there's still enough UV radiation coming in that it's picking up that, hey, I'm seeing sunlight right now. This light would turn on if the panels were charging the battery, but it will not charge the battery until it gets down to about 92% state of charge, okay? So this and this you're really not gonna mess with. We covered our Xantrex battery button right here. The orange light right here kicks on if the battery reaches about 35% state of charge. It says, hey, you've got to plug me in, run the engine, something, you got to charge me back up. At 15% state of charge, the whole system shuts down in order to protect itself. Battery disconnect switch. It's a momentary rocker. I can rock it up in the use position or down in the store position, depending on what I'm doing with it. Am I using the coach or am I storing the coach? That's that separate LP switch I was telling you about. So you have one on the outside, one on the inside. These are lights right here, so motion sensor lights, which are around the vehicle, and then ground effects lights. So I have LED lights underneath the vehicle. I can turn those on. Can't really see it right now; it's a little too bright. And then Wi-Fi switch. So I do have a Wi-Fi Ranger built into the roof of the vehicle. If I put that in the on position, it's looking for any unsecured Wi-Fi. It captures that Wi-Fi signal, encrypts it, and then boosts it about 100 feet around the coach. Really, that's only if you are at a campsite. They're offering you free Wi-Fi, but you're kind of at the extent of the range on it. You can capture that signal and boost it just a little bit. I'll be honest with you though, hotspotting on your phone is way more effective. Xantrex inverter is right here. I'm going to touch that top button just so I can see this display screen right now. It's going to be a battery voltage of 13.6, and the battery charger is at float charge right now. I have alternating current coming into the coach. I have 2 legs that split off that. One goes to bypass and powers up my appliances inside here. The other one goes to the charge portion, is charging up the battery right now. If I am just inverting off the battery, if I'm boondocking, that green light comes down here to the middle, tells me that I'm inverting off the battery. Right now it's at the top portion, which tells me I have 110 coming into the coach and is charging the battery up. The last light at the bottom right here is a little red fault indicator. So if it throws a fault code, error code, that red light comes on and says, hey, there's a problem that's been detected. Okay. You have a power switch right here. I'm going to tell you right now, leave this in the on position and control it off the Firefly. It's way easier. And then you don't forget, oh crap, did I leave this on? Did I shut this off? Just do it off the Firefly.
Okay, now that the gas is off on the outside, and you turn the gas on the inside.
Nope, because both need to be on.
They both need to be
exactly.
on. Okay.
So I have to walk back outside and go turn that one back on, and then I can actually control it off this one on the inside.
Then we'll do that.
Yep. This switch right here does nothing, but this one and this one are your fresh tank and your gray tank heaters. So those 2 tanks are exposed to the elements. They're on the outside of the coach. If I'm driving somewhere where it gets below freezing, I do want to turn those tank heaters on.
Yeah, if it gets like below 32
exactly.
degrees.
Yep, exactly. Last, we have our Truma controller. So the same controls you have inside here are inside here. This one goes into a little bit more depth of it. You have a fan speed controller inside here. You can set a timer inside here. Okay. And then you have a third boost option. But I'll tell you right now.
Yeah, there was a lady on YouTube that did a really good overview on the Truma. The guy that did it, the tech, he didn't. She did a really good job. She had little things, and I'm like, wow, I can really understand what she's talking about. So.
Awesome. Okay. So I'm not going to go too much depth on that. I will be honest with you though. The controls that are inside here on the Firefly are way easier to use than the controls on here. Okay. So I would recommend inverter controls and Truma controls. Just do it off the Firefly.
Okay. All right, that's easy. And the refrigerator, turning it on and off?
So long as the disconnect is on and your lithium switch is on, this has power going to it, okay?
So it's automatically on?
Yep, so long as the temperature control knob is in one of the used positions. Okay. If I spin that down to 0, it actually shuts the compressor off.
Okay.
All right, so the light would turn on because it still has power going to it, but the compressor's not working at that point.
Okay.
Freezer, there is no controller for it. It defaults down to, I believe it's 0 degrees. If we walk back here, inside the bathroom, if you want to get behind me so I can show you the controls on this panel, it might make it easier.
All right.
Open this up. I'm opening this one up. See if you can still see.
Yeah, we're good right here.
Okay. So, inside the shower right here, we do have a diverter valve. We have this little blue cap right here. If I put this into divert mode with the water pump on and the hot water heater on, it will preheat my water. That way I'm not wasting any water going into the gray tank in order to get the hot water from the Truma system up to here.
The water heater on and the
water pump.
Pump, okay.
Yep. So right now, I can start with the off position or the shower position. I would put it into divert. We're going to hear the water pump run, and this is going to change colors from blue to white. Once this turns solid white, it is hot and ready to go. So we turn that on. Helps if you actually have the water pump on. We're going to see this change here in a second. See it starting to change color now?
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm good to go right there. I'm going to flip this over to shower. And once I open this valve, I now have hot water up here. Okay? So I didn't lose any of that water. I normally would have to flush through the system just to get hot water up here. I would lose that in my gray tank. This recycles it and sends it back to your fresh tank.
Gotcha.
Yep. It will plumb this one and this one. So your faucet right here and your shower head right here. Toilet paper holders here. Mirror is obviously stuck to the wall right there. Pull this out when you go to use it. Water all the way down flushes the system.
Okay.
All right.
So you don't have to pump it, you just press it once.
Yep, just
that's
halfway
good.
down, add water, and then just hold it all the way down to full. Let it do its thing. You also have a button on the inside right here to open it at the inside, and you have a button in the dash in the very middle next to the cup holders. All right, let's go walk inside.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to shut the entire system off, and we're going to treat it as if we've been storing it.
Okay.
And I'm going to show you how to turn everything on for the first time.
Okay. Oh, okay, go.
I'm going to wait for that to power off real quick. Okay. I've been storing the vehicle for a period of time. Now, keep in mind with the lithium system, every 30 days you need to come out here, turn your system completely on, go drive the vehicle around the neighborhood or something like that, go do a grocery run with it, something. You've got to put miles on this vehicle. You do not want to just let it sit. It's bad for the engine, it's bad for the tires. Same thing for your house side inside here. You've got to put a load on this battery, and then you got to charge the battery back up. If you can plug in, leave it plugged in overnight, come back out next morning, disconnect it, shut everything back down, you're good to go. But once every 30 days, you got to use the system, okay? First thing I'm going to do when I walk inside here is I'm going to turn on my battery. I do have a Xantrex button right here. That silver button bottom left, I'm going to push this once. It's going to boot up this screen right here. I'm going to wait for it to go through its boot up process. There we go, now it's ready to go. I have a state of charge display right here. It says 100%, which means that battery's completely full right now. And then I have an amp draw, which is showing a roughly a half amp intake. So it's actually putting energy into the battery right now. I'm not drawing that. If I'm drawing anything, that plus sign is going to go away, and it's going to show me how much amperage I'm drawing from that battery. Once I do that, I come into my battery disconnect switch. I'm going to rock this in the use position because I'm using the coach. Now I have 12 volts inside the coach. Okay. Now if I come down here to my Firefly screen, I'm going to walk around this side so you can see it. Now that I have my 12 volt power, I've activated my Firefly multiplex right here. So this is the main computer to control almost everything inside the coach. I do have 5 different screens to choose from. The top left one, home. This is the home screen right here. I have the light master controller at the very top left. If I turn this on, it turns on all of my interior lights. Off, we'll turn them all off. So I can turn it on, or I can go to the light bulb over here and I can individually turn off different sections if I want to, okay? Then the ones with the up and down arrow keys are dimmable. So I can hold that down and it will dim that light. I can release it wherever I want to, and if I want to bring it back up, hold it down again, so it can go all the way down and come all the way back up. Just like that, okay? Next we have our awning control, so one button touch to extend. I can stop it partially if I want to. One button touch to retract. If I have the ignition on, there's a red bar that pops up over the screen that says awning locked by ignition. You cannot use the awning when the ignition's on. I have my holding tanks right here, so I have fresh tank. I can see it's 75% full. My gray water and my black water are both empty, and my LP is full right now, okay? And if I'm using the fresh water, I do want to turn on my water pump and pressurize my freshwater tank. That way I have plumbing inside the coach. If I'm connected to city water, and I got that valve on the outside set to the city connection, water pump must be off. Okay. I have temperature control here, so my thermostat. I have ambient inside the coach, which is 73 degrees, and my set point, which is 71 degrees. If I come down here to the thermometer, I can turn on the AC system by touching cool. Give it a couple seconds, we'll hear it spool up. The fan indicator indicates that the fan is now on, the condenser fan. Give it a few more seconds, you're going to hear the AC compressor kick on and the condenser fan on the outside. Drop it a few more degrees. Okay, so we can hear it kicking on now.
Yep. Okay.
If I don't need this, I'm going to touch cool and shut that system down. Now I'm going to come back to this Truma system here in a second. This is battery voltage right here. It's displaying house battery voltage, chassis battery voltage. If I'm plugged into shore power, it's going to charge both, the engine battery and the house battery. If I am driving down the road and I want the engine to charge the house battery, I need my disconnect on and my lithium battery on in order for it to charge it up. Okay? If I shut this down, it will not charge it up. The circle with the lightning bolt right here. So this is my power center. Again, house battery voltage, chassis battery voltage. I can see that the inverter's on pass-through and my charger's at float charge because that battery's completely topped off right now. If I come down here to inverter charger, these are my settings. I touch this. This displays AC and DC information right here. This is my breaker size. Remember I was saying if you go to a 15 or 20 amp, you've got to tell it that you're going to a 15 or 20 amp. I can go to my Xantrex controls right there, and I can drop this breaker size down and tell it what size breaker I'm plugging into, and I would just hit save. That way if I plug a 30 amp with a power adapter into a 15 amp circuit, I'm not going to pop that circuit. Okay. Sleep, wake right here either puts the inverter to sleep or wakes it up. If I am boondocking and being power conscious, I do not want to run that inverter unless I need it. If I'm boondocking and I don't need that inverter, I'm going to put it to sleep. Okay, I'd shut it down right there, or I can wake it up. I cannot do that when I'm plugged into shore power. If I'm on shore power, it is automatically on. I cannot turn it off. Okay. So we covered that. We covered the light bulb. The exterior lights are right here. These are manual. You do have to come in here and touch them. They're not controlled by the light master. Okay. And then temperature controls. So we have AC controls right here to the left. So I have cool, auto fan speed, or I can come in here and adjust the fan speed as needed. I'm going to turn that off for now. Truma controls are right here. So air heater, is it on or off? If I turn this on, it overrides the AC, and I'm going to use the same set point over here to tell it what temperature I'd like inside the coach. The hot water heater is right here. It's set to hot, but I can also come in here, I can turn it off, I can put it on eco, or I can put it on hot, okay? And then my energy mode, how am I making heat? Right now it's set to gas. I have mix 1, mix 2, electric 1, or electric 2. 1 is summer use. 2 is winter use. I probably would not use 2 at all in Florida. It never really gets cold enough here. I need it.
Okay, 1 is summer.
Yep. 2 is
2
winter.
is winter.
Yep.
Okay.
Mix is I'm letting the computer decide how am I making heat. The plug symbol tells me I have 110 available to it because I'm plugged into shore power, so I can use. Just overloaded the system. So I may have just drawn down too much power right there, and that's what kicked it out.
Okay.
Which is normally why I tell people, leave it on gas on your LP system. It's really efficient on gas. It's not going to use that much. I would only use electric if I'm plugged into shore power.
Okay.
That should have been enough to run it, though. I'm not exactly sure why it kicked it out like that. I'd like to see what the amp draw was, though, when that happened. So let me, it's back on mix 1. I'll see what my amp draw is. I'm pulling 7 amps right now.
Okay, you want to turn the gas back on then?
Yep. I'm gonna put it
Yeah,
on
let's
gas.
just turn the gas. We'll leave it at that.
Okay. So I'll
Yeah,
shut that switch on the outside. We'll do it later.
Okay.
So I'm just going to shut this down for now. So yeah, gas. Mix 1 or mix 2 is either summer use or winter use, and I'm letting the computer decide how it's going to make that heat.
Okay.
It will default to electric until you suddenly lose that electric for whatever reason. RV campsite loses power. Someone walks by, kicks out the cord, something like that. It will automatically switch over to gas. And then EL1 or EL2 is I'm telling it I want you on electric 1 or electric 2.
Gotcha.
1 is summer use, 2 is winter use.
Okay.
So we covered that. Go down here. Last one, settings. So I have the mobile app right here. Scan this display right here. It'll let you download the app from the App Store. I think it's $3 in the App Store right now. Vega Touch Eclipse is the name of it. You're going to do a scan on it. You're going to scan for your ID, find your
Is
ID.
that $3 a month, or is it like a one-time fee?
One-time purchase. Yep. So scan that. You're going to scan for yours, which is 300587, and then it's going to ask you to enter a PIN number. Once you
Okay.
enter that PIN number, it'll ask you to change it to a custom PIN number so no one else can access your coach.
Gotcha.
All right. Network diagnostic is more for us to come in here and look at the computer and see what the computer's telling it to do. Floor plan you can't change. Screen brightness is self-explanatory. Auto dimming dims the screen at night, so it's not that bright. Cleaning mode sets the screen off for 15 seconds, so you can come over here and wipe the screen off and not push buttons in the process. And then you can set the time right there, which obviously the time's incorrect. All right. Any questions on the Firefly screen?
Nope.
All right. If we look back up here inside.
Good morning, fellow Galleria owners of the Coachmen. This is the 2021 Coachmen Galleria 24FL, and someone had posed a question about how to check the DEF additive that goes in with the diesel fuel. I just want to show you a real quick little video on another way you can check it. Again, this is your dashboard, the engine is off, and we're going to be using these controls here on the left side of the steering wheel. And so what we do here is we start up the vehicle, and now that the vehicle is started, I'm going to try to hold this thing steady. I'm getting old, my hands start to shake, so it's what it is. What can I say? Okay, so in order to get to the menu that we want, we have to press this home button right here on the left side. And this brings us up to additives. So we pan down to DEF, we press, and there's your additive. You can see how much you got right there. If you want to return back to where you were, you just press this twice and it takes you back to where you can pan across and select other things that you might want to try and do. That's about it. I hope this has been helpful. Again, make sure that when you do this, you go into the service area right there, you click the little center button, takes you in there, and then you click you can pan up and down. You can check your oil, but this is the DEF level. As you can see there, it's full. So you're good to go. Have fun, enjoy.
So real quick, I do have seat controls on the door right here for this seat, door over there for that seat.
Yeah.
I'm going to go and start the vehicle up, push my foot on the brake, hold this button down. This does take a little bit longer than a standard push start because it's a diesel engine. You got to heat the resistor pack up first.
Gotcha, like the military.
Exactly. Alright, so now it's started. You do have two screens right here. You have a screen display right here and a screen display right here. On the steering wheel itself, controls on this side of the steering wheel control this screen. The top two buttons right here on the left control that screen. These black buttons you see right here are touch sensitive mouse pads. See, I'm scrolling across the screen, so I can scroll my thumb across that. I can go up, I can go down, and I can select different information if I want to. So I can push in, select that. I can come up here, I can go over to engine, and I can view engine performance and stuff like that. If I scroll over more, we have navigation, so I can push in, go to navigation. I have a home button right here. If I push in on the home button, it takes me back to that main screen. This is also touch screen though, so I can drag my finger across if I wanted to. And then I have manual controls down here, okay? So I'm gonna set the parking brake real quick, push my foot on the brake, I'm gonna put us in reverse. This shifter's kind of weird compared to most vehicles. So these are the new style Mercedes shifters. Tap up to go in reverse, down to go into drive, and then a light tap either direction puts it in neutral. And to put it in park, I'm gonna push in on that button right there. So I'm gonna put us in reverse real quick. We can see the backup camera display right here.
Yes.
And I said we had multiple fields of view. So that's my wide angle field of view. So I can see if I'm pulling out of backing up, I can see if a car's coming left or right. My medium field of view, which does have the directional lines, and then my narrow field of view, if I'm backing up to a trailer, I can look straight down at the hitch, which is very handy. These are my radar sensors around the vehicle. So it's displaying how close I am to something. As you start getting close, it's gonna start beeping at you and letting you know, hey, you're getting too close.
Gotcha.
All right, so I'm gonna push back and drive real quick, and then in park. The handbrake is folding. I can push it down like that, and then swivel the seat around if I need to.
Yes, I'm familiar with that. Yeah. How do you check the mileage on this thing?
So over here in the top left, I'm gonna touch the home button to get out of the screen. And right there is 126 miles.
Okay.
And I can scroll up or down to display different information on this. All the way down is the digital speedometer. And if I touch the home button again, it brings me back to the main menu. I'm going to show you how to pull up that DEF gauge real quick. So we're going to go to settings, we're going to go to display and operation, push in, change that to permanent. Now we have the DEF gauge permanently displayed up there. So that's the blue. As you start to use DEF, the lines are going to deplete from the right to the left. Same thing for your fuel gauge over here underneath the speedometer. Underneath the tachometer is your fuel gauge. And then if we go all the way over to the left to service, I can push in. I can go down and view engine oil level right there. If there's any warning messages, stuff like that, it'll display right here under messages. DEF again right there. I can check the filter. Drive assist is your follow distance. Trip is normally where I leave it. Like I said, you can view fuel mileage on here, distance traveled, total time, your digital speedometer, stuff like that. The top right is your adaptive cruise control button, so I push that in to turn it on. Little icon's going to pop up there. Turn it off though. And then I have speed set, plus or minus to accelerate or decelerate. Follow distance is adjusted right here. And then I have resume or cancel right here on the left.
Okay.
On the right hand side, I have answer and hang up, volume controls. I have voice assist, and then if I save anything to my favorites, I can just bump it down and it brings up my favorite screen up here. Now, be careful using the M word around here. Mercedes.
How may I help you?
She is always listening. All right. Cancel. You do have the Mercedes SOS button right here. It works just like the GM OnStar. It is a service you have to pay for, though. You have to contact Mercedes to activate it.
Gotcha.
Lighting controls are all up here.
Okay.
AC controls are down here, so temperature control, fan speed control. The rest of that's pretty self-explanatory. And then that button right there, like I said, does that side door.
Okay, so what do? I call Mercedes-Benz, a local dealer, and say, look, I've just acquired a...
What can I do for you?
Cancel. Cancel. You can go away.
What do you want to do?
Go away. Yes. So call them up. You're going to give them the VIN number. Tell them, hey, I just bought this vehicle.
Right, and then they'll tell me, okay, you need Siri, you need this, you need that.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Yep, you got it. Inside here's a camera pack that's always looking forward. That's for your adaptive cruise control.
Okay.
This does have lane assist, so if you start to veer from one side to the other, it will bump the steering wheel real quick and tell you that you're getting out of lane.
Oh,
yep.
Okay.
If you hit your turn signal, it shuts it off. I can change lanes, and then once I cancel my signal, it re-engages.
Okay.
Shifter right here. This is for my wiper blades right here.
So my wife's going to love that. It's on my side.
Yeah. And then, is she one of the ones that always reaches over?
Absolutely.
I hate that. And then I have my paddle shifters right here, plus and minus, so I can manually change gears if I needed to.
Yeah. Now, do you need to change? Oh, you don't need to, but you can. That's kind of like my car, so I understand that.
The thing with changing gears as you're driving, the way I view it is the computer does not know that I'm approaching a hill. You know that you're approaching a hill. I can downshift before I get there and have more available torque as I coast up the hill.
Gotcha.
Especially if I'm towing something.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay, and how are we set on fuel, by the way?
So we're almost completely full. You can see there's one little hash mark missing right there.
Okay.
So 1 is full, half a tank, and then 0 is empty.
Okay.
The temperature gauge, it is a diesel. It does take a while to get hot. But you'll start seeing it creep up from left to right.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Real quick, inside here you do have charge cables. These are Type-C chargers. So whatever you have, Android, iPhone, something like that, you have to buy the Type-C adapter for it. So it adapts it from a Type-C to whatever you're going to use.
We have iPhones.
Okay, so you'll need a Type-C to an Apple charger. These two are for charging. The one on the left actually communicates with the radio, or you can Bluetooth your phone to the radio.
Our phones, we can just lay down and it charges through the phone.
This one does not have magnetic induction charging.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
You can Bluetooth your phone, so I can connect my phone right here if I wanted to. Navigation, radio. This says AM, FM. Touch this again. Media is media on your phone. Info is vehicle information. This is the M-word apps, and then vehicle settings.
Okay. So now, how do I program? Let's set it up for my highways.
Let's do this. There it goes. You can touch that and start navigating.
The route is being calculated. Please proceed to the highlighted route.
What's cool about this one is it actually shows you diesel stations.
Right.
You can turn it off if you want to.
Yeah, it's okay. You can leave it.
I believe this one would do the map as well. So, yep, so we can tilt it like that too.
Yeah.
If you wanted to. I'll leave it on 2D though.
I like hitting where the map's in front of me.
Yep, so as you start driving, it will tilt the map.
Okay.
And then I can find myself by touching that right there.
Okay.
I can do. I can make changes right there if I wanted to.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. I think we're good.
Okay. Do you have any other questions on the vehicle? Anything else?